What up, Bench Buddy crew? The boys are back today with our power rankings that we haven't done in about 2 weeks, but we're getting back into it here. We're gonna be breaking down the MLB teams, lots of movers up, down. So we're gonna get right into it.
All right, we're gonna go quickly through these top 20 or these first 15 teams. We got the Orioles. Their last ranking was 30th, and their new ranking is still the 30th. They just got blown out by the Blue Jays this weekend, so not much to talk about here. No Adley Rutschman yet.
29, the Diamondbacks didn't move. 3-8 since we last did these rankings. They're still only bright spot this year has been Ketel Marte and the no-hitter, and there's not really much to update about this team.
Next, we got the Pirates. Very good defensive team here. We got them at 28 this time. Last ranking was 27, so they moved down one spot. I believe they're the second best defensive team in baseball according to fielding percentage. So, go Pirates.
So we got the Rangers leapfrogging the Pirates here for the 27th spot. They've been kind of on a roll here. They're 8-4 since we last did these rankings. But obviously their season's just a lost cause right now. So they're just gonna see in the month of September who they can keep for next year and who they should move on from.
Next, we got the Washington Nationals. They're staying right put at 26th. They were 4-10 since we last did our rankings. Juan Soto's been raking lately. He's got his batting average up to like 307 or something like that. So keep an eye on him for the MVP watch, maybe.
Miami Marlins. So they've been a pretty average team since our last rank. So they're going to come in at 25 again. I went and saw them play on Tuesday against the Mets, and it was a high-scoring affair. Edward Cabrera, he showed some promise, the young rookie, the MLB The Show legend. But I think this team could compete in a few years. Lots of young pieces there. Jazz Chisholm has a bright future, and they just got lots of guys that put the bat on the ball and will do anything to grind out a win.
All right, next we got the Minnesota Twins. They're at 24. Their last rank was 23rd. They've been playing pretty average baseball as well. Not much to say about them here. The record's not as bad as it was before, so they've been on a little bit of a roll. Still not going to compete for the division. Still probably the fourth best team in that division, behind the Tigers, White Sox, and who else? Who's better than
the
them,
Royals? I'd say the
Royals. You think they're better?
Yeah. And the Indians. Honestly, they're
probably
last.
The Indians. Yeah, they're probably last. Yeah.
All right. So coming in at 23, the Cubs moved up a spot thanks to their 7-game win streak. Obviously, this team traded away everyone at the deadline, and not much happening, but a few bright spots in Frank Schwindel. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's been on a tear as of late, and he could be a piece for the future on the north side of Chicago.
Next, we got the Royals. They're staying put right at 22nd. 22nd. 22 RD,
that's awkward,
bro.
Man. I made my first mistake on video, man. That's awkward.
Exposed. All right, well, not much to talk about with the Royals. A few bright spots, but not much going on this season. I could see them contending in 2 or 3 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not much for now.
But shout out to Salvi for, kind of putting the team on his back, hitting all the home runs and
going crazy.
Potentially breaking the record for most home runs in a year by a catcher. He's got a lot. He's got 2 more weeks to do it, and I think he only needs 3 or 4.
Yeah,
so he's probably going to do it.
There.
And then at 21, you got Colorado Rockies. Didn't move. Pretty average team since we last ranked them. Trevor Story, he's been kind of picking up his play He's been picking his play up as of late. Obviously,
he just picked up a series win against the Phillies this weekend as well.
Should have dealt him at the deadline, but obviously that series win against the Phillies, this is a team that could play spoiler, especially in that NL West with the Dodgers and
especially
Giants.
At home.
Right. Obviously, due to their elevation, this will benefit them moving forward. And if there's a NL West team that needs to get in the playoffs coming in the last week of the season, this team for sure can play spoiler.
All right, next, let's talk. You can talk about your Tigers, Courtney.
All right, so pretty pretty successful weekend. They beat the Rays in a 3-game set. Took them to extras today and had a walk-off walk. This Tigers team is making me kind of happy about the future right now. They show lots of promise in like games 140 as it is right now. Like, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get in the playoffs. Why are they playing so hard? It's because they come to the ballpark. They're young guys. They compete every day. And I don't be surprised in the next few years if you see this Tigers team as a wild card team, maybe even division winner with the White Sox. They could give a White Sox run for their money.
Next, we got the Cleveland Indians coming up right behind the Tigers. I think they're gonna play spoiler as well to like those wild card teams if they could. They've been playing better baseball, even though they just got no hit like this weekend. But besides that, I mean, Corbin Burns went crazy this weekend. Besides that, though, some bright spots, and I could see them maybe playing spoiler this year.
At 18, we got the Mike Troutless Angels. Season disappointment. Ohtani's been great. He's probably going to come away with the MVP unless Vladdy can somehow win the Triple Crown, which he's really close to, actually.
He is.
But the story of the Angels has been injuries, and that's been their case for the last 2, 3, 4, I don't know, however many years. As a team that shows promise every year, they're projected to go to the playoffs, and then somehow an injury happens, and then they just fall out of it. But I will say they are a pretty average team this year, around 500, which is pretty good for them. So obviously, if they can stay healthy, this team could be a contender in the AL West next year. Uh-oh, it froze. It froze. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. There we go.
All right, next we got the Cincinnati Reds. They've dropped in the power rankings, as you saw in the thumbnail. Thanks to Ricky for the thumbnail, by the way. We'll plug his Instagram and stuff in the description maybe. But anyway, the Reds, they've been losing a lot of games. They dropped the series to the St. Louis Cardinals. Got absolutely manhandled by Nolan Arenado. He went crazy this weekend. They're still in the midst of a playoff hunt. So, I mean, they could definitely make the playoffs if they start winning some more games. Just this past weekend dropped them in the ratings a lot.
You got the Phillies coming in. Potentially their only shot to make the playoffs is winning the division. Obviously, the 2 wildcard teams have picked up a few wins here to increase the gap. But the Phillies really need to pick it up and beat the Braves. And I think they play them 4 more times, and they need a pretty much clean sweep for them to get in.
Yeah, and if the Phillies, talking about MVP race real quick, if the Phillies end up making the wild card or winning the division, I'm thinking that Harper might win the MVP because his stats are crazy this year. And if he leads them in, I mean, Tatis has gotten cold a little bit, so you never know. You can see that. But next we got the Mets. They've been on a tear ever since the thumbs down. We said that last time, but man, they're looking good still. They've been actually scoring runs. Their offense has been actually producing a little bit, and it's helping a lot. And I think they're right back in the playoff. They're right back in that divisional race. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do.
So next we got the Cardinals you were just talking about. This team might be a surprise team coming down in the last week of the season for the wild card. If this team gets hot, they definitely have all the pieces. They've got postseason experience. They've got great staff. They got a good bullpen. So this team is on the list of, I'd say, like top tier of surprise candidates getting into the playoffs at the last second.
I agree. And another one of those teams is the San Diego Padres. They were playing great baseball at the beginning of the year. Now they dropped a lot, but they're still in that. I believe they're still in the lead of the second wild card spot in the NL. I could be wrong, but yeah, who knows? This wild card race, this NL wild card race, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be interesting. We're excited to see those next 3 weeks.
Next. So yeah, well, it kind of skipped on there. Next, you got the Atlanta Braves coming in at 12, dropped a little bit. There's just been too many hot teams that they just got passed on, and they've been an average team. So they're just going to come in a little lower. But right now they're winning division. I think a 4 or 5 game lead on the Phils. It's not too much to be updated about this team, but they're coming in at 12.
Just missing out in the top 10, we got the Oakland Athletics. They've been dropping a lot of games lately, 5-8 in their last 13. I believe did they just lose a series to the Mariners recently
I
also?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
And they
77 and
fell out of the
66.
wild card spot since we
Yeah,
did
and
this last ranking.
this second wild card spot is going to be crazy to see who can come up with it. All right, top 10.
And then at 10, you got another team vying for that wild card. You got the Mariners coming in at 10, moving up 2 spots, a little above 500 since we last ranked them. Obviously, we just talked about them beating the A's. And this is a team that I guess kind of isn't surprising, but a little above average, I would say, that where they would be projected. I'd say they were coming in at a 500 team. They're exceeding those expectations. And obviously that's why they're here right now, and they'll be vowing for that last spot in the AL wildcard.
All right, coming in number 9, we got the New York Yankees. They dropped all the way down 5 spots down to the number 9 spot. 3-9 in their last 12. They got a 4-game sweep by the Blue Jays, and then I think I'm not sure what right now as we're recording this. Yeah, they're still recording this, but yeah, I mean, win or lose, I think you're staying at the same spot with the Yankees. A little bit better than the Mariners and Athletics, and not as good as these next couple teams.
Ethan, I have breaking news. This relates nothing to baseball. Matthew Stafford just threw a 56-yard touchdown to Cooper Kupp. That is really good for fantasy purposes.
That's good for you.
So back to baseball. Man. We got the Red Sox. I honestly don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs. I said they would, and they can make a surprise run, but due to the COVID situation they have right now, having those guys out, Sale, he just got hit with that.
Bogarts just got back. He just now returned. They've had injuries too. JD's hurt.
This is going to be an interesting team to watch for the last 2 weeks. I think, though, if they squeak in, those guys will for sure want to play that 1-game wild card. If they get the wild card, win the division, obviously they benefit from the division win. But if it's a wild card game, I think they're going to send their guys out there and be like, whatever, 1 game, go risk it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, coming in number 7, a big jump into the top 10 for the Blue Jays. They are 12-2 since we last ranked them. And it's looking like my predictions are aging well so far. I mean, that sweep against the Yankees, big statement, as well as the sweep against the Orioles, which is also a big statement because they scored. I think they tied the record of most runs scored in a series. So that offense is explosive. You got Vlad Jr., who's my MVP candidate because he's going to win the Triple Crown. And then you got Semien, Springer's coming back, Teoscar Hernandez, even Lourdes Gurriel's.
And a note on this team. So actually they were playing 2 doubleheaders on Saturday. The second one, they were getting no hit going into the last inning. And then they put an 11 spot up on the Orioles. And obviously it's the Orioles. I feel bad for them. But, that this team can show you how they cannot do anything for 6 innings, go to the last inning, and just boom, there it is. So you can't count this team out. All right, well, let's talk about your White Sox here.
We got my Chicago White Sox. They've been playing decent baseball, around 500 is what you expect because of their schedule. They've been playing some good teams lately. They got some. I believe they have a schedule break here coming up, and so they got to take advantage of get some wins, and maybe pass the Astros to get that home spot for the game 1 and game 5 too. So I mean, Kimbrel's still blowing saves, or not blowing saves, but blowing the 8th inning. But I feel like
they just need to shore up that pen. That's for sure.
Yeah, and once they shore it up, I think they're going to be a very dangerous team, especially when Tim Anderson comes back.
And then you got Houston coming in at 5. Nothing changed. Been playing 500 baseball. Obviously, everyone knows Houston, postseason experience. They always get there. Seems like they always win the West. So not much to report on them, but I know Altuve was cold, and now he's streaking again, and he's getting hot right before the postseason. No buzzer taps this year, so he's actually doing it himself.
Next, we got the Milwaukee Brewers coming off a very impressive sweep of the Indians, I believe. Yeah, the Indians. They're 10-3 in their last 13, and they've been looking just better and better every game. So look for them. They're one of the top teams that can compete with these top NL West teams here coming up.
At 3, we got Tampa. Pretty disappointing trip up to Detroit as they dropped 2 of the 3. But that happens. It's baseball. They're still the leader in the AL for wins. Houston could catch up, potentially the White Sox, but I don't see this team not winning the AL and not being the 1 seed. So right now they're pretty comfortable where they're at. If they just play 500 here on out, I think they will easily win the AL and be the 1 seed representing the AL.
Next, coming in at number 2, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers. They just came off of a sweep against the Padres this weekend, so that's huge for their momentum. And hopefully they can pick up some games on the NL West leader, the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, and that's why they're coming in at number 1 here. I believe the Giants have won 7 in a row. I think it's 6 or 7. So that's why obviously they made that huge jump up to 1, passing the Rays and Dodgers. This team will get to 100 wins. I think they will do so. Obviously they got 7. Let's see, they got 19 games left to get 7 wins. I think that'll be easy for them. And obviously they want that 1 seed. They don't want to be a wild card team. So every game matters for this team. You're thinking, oh, they're in first place. They're number 1 in the league. Why does it matter? Well, they got this team catching up right behind them. They only got a 2.5 game lead here. And I think they play each other one more time in a 4-game set.
Do they?
I'm not sure. I thought they did.
I don't know. We'll have to check on that.
Whatever. Well, either way, it's a very competitive NL West, and there's going to be lots of teams trying to play spoiler and get them in that wild card game. But that's going to be it for the Giants here. Yeah,
I think a lot of interesting things are happening in the MLB. If you guys want to be here right with us, we're doing power rankings every weekend. Mm-hmm. Every Sunday night we'll be recording, so the video should be dropping Monday. And that's about it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Till next time, Bench Buddies are out. She never called back.